First Covenant Foundation is proud to present the Rainbow Covenant with Dr. Michael Dallen. We'll explore the Noahide movement and its connection to Israel and the Jewish people. For information, online, rainbowcovenant.org, firstcovenant.com, or call 1-313-891-1920. Michael, how are you this morning? Nice to have you with us.
Shalom, Zelda. Welcome back to North America.
Well, I'll tell you something. It's not easy to make the transition because you feel so enveloped by the Israeli society and by the love that's there for everybody. And I have to stress that because, before I hadn't been there for 2 years, but it sort of reaffirmed all the true beliefs that I had of what Israel is all about.
Well, if you want to keep that alive, Zelda, you'll do everything you can from your position here, and I hope your listeners will too, to keep Israel from continuing on the suicidal path that's called the peace process, which is really the death process, the suicide process. It's bad not just for Israel, but for the whole world. It just emboldens, energizes, tantalizes, and strengthens the Al-Qaeda and the rest who would want to destroy the West, along with, and particularly Israel.
Well, I think that, the news while I was there, I wasn't here, so I didn't have access. I had a computer, but, I didn't have a printer. So I got the Jerusalem Post every morning, and I knew exactly what was going on because the show was on every day. But to tell you the truth, being in Israel, it sort of reaffirmed how important Israel is, not to Israel alone, but to the rest of the world, to the Torah, to the peace-loving nations everywhere in the world.
Well, it is the focus of the attention of about 1 billion people in the world who want it obliterated and the Jews dispersed, and they don't really particularly, mostly, care whether or not that land becomes theirs, just so long as the Jews fail, just so long as the Jewish experiment there is extinguished. One of the things about the first covenant, the Adamic covenant, the covenant between God and Adam and our legendary common ancestors and with Noah, is that it leads to the second covenant, the covenant of Sinai, between Moses and the Jewish people at Sinai. And it brings out the obvious, what ought to be obvious. It brings out the general drift of Torah, and it makes clear things that ought to be clear to everyone, but aren't necessarily. Here we have an Israel that is in control of secularists who are dying to be a nation just like any other nation, and they're doing things, they're enacting policies and choosing to do things that no nation on earth would do, giving up its own land, giving up its patrimony, giving up what it needs to survive to become a nation like any other nation. And they're, with both hands and feet, they're rejecting the redemption and the mission of the Jewish people because they don't want the burden. But this is a path that leads to suicide. This is a path to death and dishonor and the destruction of the West. Now, we've got an Israeli-Palestinian, which is really an Israeli Arab and now largely an Israeli Muslim problem that is festering in the world and making mankind's tenure on earth difficult because the Jewish people are not on board this idea of the Jews having this mission, which is, and you discover what the mission is about. I invite your people to come and learn about it with us.
They're your people, too.
The people who listen to us.
Yeah, that's right.
The listening radio audience.
You know that I got 7,000 hits on one of my blogs the other day? I couldn't believe 7,000. Usually I get, maybe 800, but 7,000 while I was away. I don't know. I guess they were hungry to hear.
Do you think it has anything to do with the guy who reported us to the Canadian Human Rights Commission or whatever it was for speaking so strongly?
I don't know. But, Michael, I don't want to go there. So we'll have to leave that for now, but we'll continue our dialogue the next
Well,
time.
let's just keep in mind that we here in North America have special freedoms and privileges to speak that our people in Israel don't. So it's important for us to touch on it, to get on these issues.
All right, we'll talk more about those issues and more the next time we speak, which is a couple of weeks from now. So you take care, and thanks for being a part of the show. We just love you.
Thanks,
Michael Dallen, take care.
The Rainbow Covenant with Dr. Michael Dallen has been made possible by First Covenant Foundation. Online, rainbowcovenant.org, firstcovenant.com, or call 1-313-891-1920.